Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome to another Minecraft tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to build a nether portal that's going to allow you to teleport directly onto the roof of the nether. Now most of you know that if you build a portal on the roof of the nether like the one behind me, it's going to allow you to teleport back to the overworld, but then when you try and come back through the portal onto the roof of the nether, it won't allow you to do it. And I'll just demonstrate that for you, for those of you that don't already know. Now I'm assuming for the sake of this tutorial that you already know how to get onto the roof of the nether, that you've already got access via a hole in the bedrock onto the roof of the nether. If you don't, just check out some tutorials online. There are plenty of them out there. It's reasonably straightforward to do using ender pearls or minecarts or something like that. But once you're on the roof of the nether, you don't want to keep having to come through a hole and climbing up loads of ladders, especially if you want to get horses on here. Because travelling quickly on the roof of the nether is obviously even quicker if you've got a horse, and there's no way you're going to be able to get a horse through a tiny hole like that. Hence the reason for having a two-way nether portal on the roof. So if you build a portal on the roof like this, once you go through it, it brings you into the overworld as you'd expect. But then when you go back through the portal, it'll bring you back into the nether and not onto the roof of the nether. And obviously we want to be on the roof. So if we just dismantle that one so it doesn't interfere with our portal on the roof. Get back up on the roof. So we want to build this portal 2 blocks further down, which is a maximum height of a nether portal on the roof. We need to be standing on Y126 for the portal to be two-way. So to do that, we need to do a bit of digging. Unfortunately, it's time-consuming. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but it is very necessary. What we need to do, if you press F3, what we need to do is find 2 pieces of bedrock that are side by side that are at Y127. Okay, so really all you're going to have to do is start digging around, and obviously you need to be very careful of lava. You don't want to be digging into any lava, but we need to find 2 pieces of bedrock that are at Y127. So if you look at the top left hand corner now, it says looking at, and then the middle figure is 127. We need to find 2 pieces of bedrock next to each other that are at Y127. And as I said, there's no quick way of doing this. It's a case of getting yourself a pick and digging around until you find two pieces of bedrock at Y127. Now, to save you waiting for me to do this, I'm just going to keep looking, and then I'll skip through and show you what it looks like. Perfect. Fine, we found some. Now it only took me a couple of minutes. This is where we came up. And I've just been digging around, and I finally found 2 bits of, actually that might be, it's even better than I thought. This is really, really, really uncommon. However, if you can get a line like this of bedrock that's at Y127, if you're looking at that top left hand corner, looking at 319 127 minus 170, it's the middle number I'm interested in, the Y value. So we have 4. You only need 2, but I've found 4 bits of bedrock with nothing but netherrack underneath them. So directly above there is the roof of the nether. So now we need to take the measurements, so the coordinates of these 4 blocks. So it's 319 by minus 168, and it goes to 319 minus 171, so that's 2171. Now we need to get back onto the roof of the Nether and find these blocks up there. So 319 168, 319 168 is that one. 319 168 is that block there. And 319 169 170 171 319. You need to check and check and check, because if you start digging holes in the bedrock and it's not in the right place, you're just going to be wasting resources. So check a couple of times, check 3 times that you're in the right place before you start breaking the bedrock, because it's just going to save you resources and time in the long run. So they're the 4 blocks that we need to break. Okay? So once you've got the 4 blocks, you need to grab a few more resources. So I've put what you're going to need to do this in this chest. You're going to need at least 10 repeaters, but you're probably best taking sort of backups of everything just in case anything goes wrong. So you need at least 10 repeaters, but you're probably best taking 15 or so. You'll need a lever. You'll need some normal pistons. Now again, you won't need that many. You won't need 19, but again, take a couple just as a backup. You're going to need some sticky pistons. You don't need that many, but take some as a backup. You're going to need some blocks of stone. I don't know whether cobblestone will work or any other block. Because of the hardness of the block, I've found that using stone gives me the best results without mishaps. So take stone. You're going to need some redstone. You're going to need some redstone blocks. You're going to need an activator rail. You're going to need at least 8 minecarts with TNT in them. Again, if you can afford to, take more just in case. You're going to need some obsidian for the Nether Portal, obviously, and a flint and steel to light it. So let's grab all of that. So now you've identified which blocks you want to break, you need to put down 2 sticky pistons, one there and one there. That's the block we want to break, so we need to put sticky pistons facing that block. Now obviously we are going to have to get rid of those, but you need to remember which way you've got to come. Okay, so obviously we're facing towards our hole in the Nether Portal, so they're the blocks we need to break. So once you've got your sticky pistons there, take out your stone blocks, and you need to put a stone block behind the back of that sticky piston, a stone block behind the back of that sticky piston, and then one in the middle. So you've got that kind of setup. Okay, now you need to get some dust, and you need to run a line of dust from the middle stone block. If you come back 5, and then you want to go back towards your hole by another 5, and now we need to stick down 10 repeaters. They don't all have to be a line, but there does need to be 10 of them, and we need to just give ourselves a bit of room so that when we set off the TNT in the minecart, we don't take any damage. So just the other side of this, just the other side of our chest should be fine. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these all need to be on maximum delay. If one of them's not, it's just going to mess up you doing what you're doing. So make sure that again, double check, and then double check. Make sure they're all on maximum delay, and make sure they're all linked via some dust. And then you need to run a line of dust over to a safe distance. Probably here is a safe distance. Now grab yourself some stone, and you need to mark out where you're going to be putting your TNT minecart. And your TNT minecart needs to be 4 blocks away from the heads of these sticky pistons. So if you put down some stone, 1 there, 2, 3, 4, so you've got that, then grab yourself your activator rail and put your activator rail down there. So now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks between your activator rail and the block that you want to destroy, and that's the that's the block you need to put your TNT minecart on. Now you need to link up this dust with that rail, the activator rail. So just put a line of dust down over to there and put yourself down a lever. And what that's going to do is it's going to set off your TNT, and then there's going to be a delay of 40 ticks before these pistons fire. And once those pistons fire at exactly the same time that those pistons fire, this TNT minecart is going to explode. Okay? So as you can see now, one of the sticky pistons has lost its head, which is exactly what we need. So now we need to bud power that piston using a block of redstone. So we need to put a block of redstone just there. That's going to keep that piston powered. Then we can flick the lever and turn the repeaters off, which should retract that piston. Then we just need to replace that bit of dust, put ourselves down another minecart, and do exactly the same again. And now we've lost the heads off both the pistons. Grab ourselves another bit of redstone, another redstone block, and bud power that piston. Now we can unpower this line. Now we need to put in the pistons that are going to remove the block, and it's very technical. It uses block 39, I think it's called. Is it 39 or 36? Block 39. Anyway, the top and bottom of it is we need a normal piston just there facing upwards. Now we need another normal piston next to it facing downwards. So if we grab 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stone blocks like that, and then we put 3 pistons in there, and then power the top one and then power that one. Obviously if you don't have that, you can always put a piston in, then lever, and then a block, and then a lever, and then a block. But anyway, you need a piston upside down there like that. So you've got an upside down one facing downwards, one facing upwards. Now you need to remove that block and that block, grab your repeaters. You can use those repeaters if you want to, but it's probably best to leave those there, save you messing around. You need to put 2 repeaters facing into that headless sticky piston on 1 tick. So, and again, this is important for the timings. You need 2 repeaters on 1 tick facing that headless sticky piston. You need 1 repeater on 2 ticks facing that sticky piston. And then you need to put 2 repeaters on 1 tick going into the piston that's facing upwards. And you need to link all of that together with some dust. Okay, so again, and I apologize for repeating myself, but this is very important. 2 repeaters on 1 tick each going into this headless sticky piston. 1 repeater on 2 ticks going into this headless sticky piston. 2 repeaters on 1 tick going into that piston. All linked with some dust. Then grab yourself a lever and power them all. Okay, so now they've all got power going to them. That piston's going to come up. Now you can remove those budded blocks there, the redstone blocks that were bud powering the sticky pistons. And now, just flick your lever. And a bit of magic happens, and you do lose one of your normal pistons, but in the process, you've also broken through the top layer of bedrock, which is fantastic. Now you just need to get rid of a couple of these. Just move them out of the way, and you need to do all that again. Only moving these sticky pistons one further this way. Now before you move that piston over, just fill that hole that we've just made in the bedrock. Fill it with a bit of stone, and that should help prevent the sticky piston here being destroyed. So we move it over one. Put our stone blocks behind the back of them, like that. Mark out where we want our activator rail. And then we hook up this dust into the middle stone block again. Hook up the dust to the activator rail. Put down our minecart TNT. Flick the lever. And we have a headless sticky piston. But turn that off, replace the dust, and do it again. Perfect. Put down a redstone block to stop it from retracting. Turn off the lever. Remove those two stone blocks and then put in our repeaters. So again, 2 on 1 tick, 1 on 2 ticks. Get our standard normal piston, 1 piston facing upwards. One piston in there facing downwards. 2 repeaters facing into the upwards facing piston. Join them all together with dust. And then power that circuit. Then we can remove the redstone blocks. Unpower. And we have another hole in the bedrock. And we need to move these pistons over again to remove this piece of bedrock. Now, if you just put a sticky piston there and there's a very good chance that that piston is going to get destroyed because there's no block underneath it. I don't quite know the technicalities of it, the ins and outs of it, but I've found that if you don't put a block underneath this piston, it has a tendency to get destroyed. So just put a stone block in there. And that way, hopefully, you won't waste too many sticky pistons. And then you put your stone blocks behind the back of it again. Move this dust over one, so it's powering the center block. Mark out where you want your activator rail to go again. 2, 3, 4. Move your activator rail. Put down your TNT minecart, link it up with some dust, double check that all your repeaters are still in one place and all linked together. Fire in the hole. Redstone block. Unpower it. Replace the dust. TNT minecart back on there again. And do it again. Stick down your redstone block. Now, it's vitally important that you put the redstone blocks on there before you unpower that circuit. Otherwise, those pistons are going to retract and you'll have to do it all again. So now we get ourselves a normal piston. And I know I'm repeating myself, but we need to do it. So normal piston facing upwards there. And then a normal piston facing downwards like that. Remove that block, get your repeaters. 2 repeaters on 1 tick, 1 repeater on 2 ticks, 2 repeaters on 1 tick. Linked together with dust. And then powered. Remove the redstone blocks. Unpower the circuit. We have another hole. 3 holes down, 1 to go. Fill that hole in again, hopefully to protect your sticky pistons. And then we'll do the last one. Sticky piston there, sticky piston there. Mark out where you want your activator rails. 3, activator rail goes there. Put down your stone blocks again behind the back of the sticky pistons, like that. Move your dust up so it powers the center block. Replace the redstone dust that goes into your activator rail, and then do it again. Bud powered. Turn it off. Stick down another bit of TNT, replace that little bit of dust. Power those. Unpower that. Normal piston facing upwards. Normal piston facing downwards. Remove those 2 blocks. 2 repeaters on 1 tick. 1 repeater on 2 ticks. 2 repeaters on 1 tick. Linked together with dust. And then powered. Remove those blocks. Unpower. And there you go. You've got your hole in the nether, or your 4 gap hole in the nether where you can put your nether portal. And because we've got nothing underneath them, it's going to allow us to put obsidian down at the required level. Again, if you only found 2 blocks, 2 pieces of bedrock with nothing underneath them, then that would be fine, because you could make a sneaky nether portal there. So you only need 2 bedrock blocks with nothing underneath them, and then just grab yourself your obsidian and put 2 bits of obsidian there, and then make another portal as normal. Okay, light it. Pop through. And then when you pop back, you're on the roof of the nether. Now if you've got a working nether portal somewhere else reasonably close by, it will interfere with this. So you have to be careful of that, or you have to bear that in mind when you're building this. But now, once you've got rid of all of the stuff around it, you have a nether portal that is two-way on the roof of the nether. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, everybody. If you have, please don't forget to leave it a like, and if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future videos. And if you've got any comments or questions, put them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. This is Frilioth, and I'm out of here.